To this now, Bafana Bafana will take on Benin in the FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifier in Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. Kick-off at 6 p.m. SABC News sports anchor Xoli Zondo is out interacting with the fans ahead of this clash and joins us live from Sandton. Xoli, a very good afternoon to you. So South Africa's 2-0 victory against Lesotho in Polokwane on Friday put Bafana Bafana essentially in the driving seat in Group C. Just give us a sense then on where you are exactly and what expectations are ahead of the match against Benin. Xoli, can you hear me?
All right, and of course, for this afternoon, we are coming to you live from Sandton right here in, of course, Johannesburg. And that is because it is Bafana Bafana Day. And of course, we know that Bafana Bafana will be taking on Benin. It is a 2026 World Cup qualifier that is staged in Abidjan in Ivory Coast. A crucial 3 points that are at stake this evening, and which is why we find ourselves here in Sandton. It is the watch party where quite a number of former athletes, current athletes, and really administrative personnel are finding themselves here for the official announcement of Bafana Bafana's technology sponsor, and that is Honor. But before we get into all of that, the news coming in around Bafana Bafana is quite concerning, because we know that the World Cup qualification could be thrown into disarray if Bafana Bafana adopt all 3 points for fielding an ineligible player, and that is Teboho Mokoena. We know that Mokoena had received a yellow card in that match against Benin and Zimbabwe, which meant that he wasn't supposed to be fielded in the encounter against Lesotho last Friday. So because he did play, that could mean that FIFA could sanction Bafana and, of course, dock all 3 points. But the saving grace here could be the fact that Lesotho did not log an official complaint, so they didn't submit a complaint in 24 hours of playing that encounter. So that could be the saving grace. But of course, it is concerning to know that Bafana Bafana, who are currently top of Group C on 10 points, could be docked those 3 points. But we're looking ahead to this encounter. It should be an exciting one. 3 other matches also taking place in Group C, and we are going to be taking a look out for that. So just in terms of who is gracing this fantastic event, we've got the South African Football Association CEO, Lydia Munyebau, who's also here in attendance. We've got the likes of the former Bafana Bafana goalkeepers, Andre Arendse, who's also here, Brian Baloyi, who's also here, Thulani Hlatshwayo, the former Bafana Bafana captain and current SuperSport United captain, is also here. And we're also hoping to talk to Themba Zwane. Now, of course, you know, in terms of Umshishi, very instrumental in Bafana Bafana, especially in that midfield, but he hasn't been selected because he is out on injury and has been on some time. He is back at training, fortunately, but not fully fit for him to be included in the national setup. So hopefully he will be back in time for the qualifiers that are taking place in September and October. Now, in terms of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, in terms of CAF, 9 spots have been allocated to the African countries, which means in terms of these 9 groups that are currently playing, it is the winners that will automatically qualify for the FIFA World Cup, which will be staged in the USA, in Canada, and in Mexico. So it is very important for Bafana Bafana to make sure that they automatically qualify by finishing top of that group. And of course, in terms of the countries that have qualified so far, we know that Japan was the first national team to do so. New Zealand is also through. This will be their 3rd appearance at a FIFA World Cup. The last time, in fact, that they appeared at a FIFA World Cup was when it was hosted right here in South Africa in 2010. So it's good news for New Zealand. And 3 other nations, of course, are the co-hosts, Canada, Mexico, and the US. Now we look at a Bafana Bafana squad that that is brimming with confidence after their spectacular performance against Lesotho at the new Peter Mokaba Stadium. That match was, of course, played on Friday. And even though Lesotho had frustrated the South Africans for well over an hour, Relebohile Mofokeng and Jaden Adams were very crucial in making sure that they get all of those important goals, securing Bafana Bafana that 2-0 victory. Now, I know a lot of people have also been asking themselves the question around Benin. Why is South Africa not playing in Benin? Well, it's because the country does not have FIFA accredited stadiums, which is why they've opted to use Ivory Coast as a host. And of course, for Benin, it also signals just some of the concerns around the continent in terms of having those FIFA accredited stadiums. When we look at even those September, October qualifiers that will be taking place in South Africa, when we take on the likes of Lesotho and Zimbabwe, the reason why it will be here in South Africa is because they lack those FIFA accredited stadiums. So it is one of those issues that the Confederation of African Football will be making sure that they look into. But of course here, the spirits are high. Everyone is truly hopeful that Hugo Bruce will make sure that his Chargers walk away with all 3 points. The question is, will they be able to replicate that spectacular performance against Lesotho, maintaining a clean sheet, scoring goals when they face on Benin, a nation that they were able to beat right here at home in the first round of qualifiers? We'll be bringing you some of those former athletes who are in attendance, some of those administrative personnel as we build up to the kick-off, which is set to be at 6 p.m. And that is, of course, Bafana Bafana, who are top of Group C, taking on Benin. Unachi, it's back to you.
Exciting times. Thank you so much. That was SABC News sports anchor Xoli Zondo there, just giving us a scene setter ahead of that crucial Bafana Bafana versus Benin match. And as she said, it is happening in Abidjan in Ivory Coast.